Aloha, everybody. Dr. Sierra here. Want to check in today and talk about the female hormone system, so specifically the menstrual cycle. And I've had several requests now of women asking me to share information on how they can reduce their PMS symptoms. So they've been having headaches, anxiety, acne breakouts right before their menstrual cycle begins. So, this is a topic that I have a lot of passion about because I'm a woman. I have been through it all myself. I went through a whole protocol of optimizing my cycle before conceiving my baby, which we were able to do on the first try. So, that was exciting. I'm also been on my healing journey for quite a while and have um, a lot of thoughts and ideas about the power of the menstrual cycle beyond just the physical power and the physiological implications, bringing new life into the world, but also the spiritual dimension that is contained within the menstrual cycle. I actually see it as a huge advantage of being a woman, getting your period every month. If this isn't my concept, this is a concept of indigenous people around the world. And there's a woman that I really admire her work. Her name is Kim Anami. The way she speaks to it really resonates with me, which is every month the cervix opens a little bit to shed the lining of the uterus. And the way this is thought of in traditional cultures is that the woman is actually opening up, it's a portal within our body that is opening up to the dimension from which life comes. So life passes through women, and we bear life into this world. And so when you bleed every month, you are actually having a little opening into that portal, into that dimension from which life comes. So the big shift that you get to experience when you really heal on this level is actually feeling empowered and deeply connected to your menstrual cycle. And when it slows you down every month and makes you turn in and all the feels that come with it, you're actually tapping into your power as a woman, into this creative life force that makes procreation really happen on this planet. So I get really excited about it because the more we can heal and feel better around our period, the more empowered we feel. And this kind of very Western mindset that it's such a drag to get your period actually becomes an advantage and something really exciting and something really lovely to experience. It brings a lot of contrast to life that is important. It's really relaxing into your feminine energy, which it really works for me. And I've been on this journey for almost 15 years now, shifting my perspective and understanding how I need to take care of my body, take care of my mind, take care of my emotions so that I can feel like I love getting my period. I haven't had it in a while, having the baby, but I'm not dreading its return. Okay, so there's that whole dimension, the spiritual power dimension, and then there's just the realities of having a physical body and what the body needs to support a healthy cycle. So I'm going to speak to that. I'm going to speak to what the body needs to support a healthy cycle and the top two ways my brain orients when someone tells me that they're having really bad PMS. So this is like the most kind of introductory level when I see a client or a patient who that's their chief complaint is bad PMS. So the first thing I'm thinking, of course, is the hormone balance. And the second thing is inflammation. So with the hormone balance, we give our treatments at least 3 months to start to see a big shift in cycle patterns. Usually women will feel better by that first cycle once they've implemented some of these changes because it has already lowered the inflammation, which a lot of times it's the inflammation that is driving the hormone irregularities. So almost always in our culture, particularly when we think of hormone imbalance, it's too much estrogen is floating around in the system. There is several reasons why. One reason is that a lot of the toxins in our environment from industrial farming or from like plastics and different chemicals that are in the water supply that we are ingesting are actually estrogen mimickers. So they are tiny little chemicals that go around floating in our system and act like estrogen on the cells, but even more so. They're even more powerful than the estrogen that our bodies produces. So we really have to focus as much as possible on cleaning up the diet and cleaning up the lifestyle. So that means cleaner home cleaning products. Cleaner, by cleaner I mean less toxic body care products. So from the shampoos you use to your lotions, all of that gets absorbed into your body. And then of course, dietary speaking, you really need to focus on a whole foods diet as much as possible. Okay, inflammation is the other key here. So there's hormones and there's inflammation. And so the goal is to figure out where can we have the biggest impact with our interventions. So inflammation, as you know, stress, diet, smoking, alcohol, etc. All of these things contribute to inflammation. Mostly it hits at your gut first, and that triggers the immune system and produces all of these inflammatory cells that just kind of rev up and put stress on your system. Over time, that will steal from the hormone production and really throw off the balance. Also, inflammation just leads to pain. So women who have bad cramps, there's oftentimes a big component of inflammation driving that in the pelvic region. Okay, so estrogen mimickers. Oh, the other big piece about estrogen is the way it's metabolized. So the final step in getting estrogen out of our system is through the bowel. So you have to make sure, first step in balancing the hormones is making sure there's a bowel movement happening every day that feels complete, like you've gotten it all out what you need to get out. If that doesn't happen, you're going to be reabsorbing estrogen back into the system, and that's estrogen that the body's been already trying to get rid of. So understanding how hormones are metabolized in our body is very important. Okay, so I want to give three really important tips for that will have a big impact. I'm not able to give you a very specific protocol because I don't know what your hormones look like. I don't know what other factors are going on. So what I can give is information that will hands down support a healthy cycle, regardless of the specifics as to why it's gone awry. If you want more specific prescriptions, you have to have a consultation with a practitioner like myself who may need to run labs. Okay, however, this information should definitely reduce your PMS symptoms regardless. Okay, number one is increase fiber. You got to get more fiber in your diet to clear out that estrogen and also clear out other symptoms that your body, other toxins that your body is trying to clear through the bowel. So the easiest way that I like to prescribe getting more fiber into the diet is flaxseed meal and chia seeds. So 2 tablespoons of ground flaxseed meal a day. They also provides a lot of the omega fats. You may have heard this term, omega fats. Those are the anti-inflammatory fats. One way to think of it is they soothe the system. They lower the inflammatory pathways, those omega fats. So ground flaxseed, not the oil, because the oil you'll miss all the fiber. The oil you get all the anti-inflammatory fats, but none of the fiber. And the fiber is really important for this specific pointer. So 2 tablespoons ground flaxseed every day. Put it in a smoothie, put it in oatmeal, put it in a soup, just get it in. And chia seeds, 2 tablespoons of chia seeds also a day if you can. Loaded with fiber. You'll be sure to be binding and getting rid of whatever excess estrogen your liver is sending to your gut, to your bowel. Okay, so fiber. Also, focus on whole foods. Reduce whatever foods are coming with an ingredients label with other chemicals in them, and focus on foods that are still, fruits, vegetables, whole grains, especially vegetables. Vegetables are your best friend, loaded with all of the antioxidants and fiber. Okay, number 2 is to eliminate completely alcohol. Sorry. If your PMS is bad enough, you might be ready to eliminate alcohol. Now, if you do cheat here and there, don't stress out about it. Just enjoy your glass of wine or your beer, whatever it is. But realize that any amount of alcohol takes up the enzymes in your liver that are required to clear estrogen out of your system. Any amount of alcohol. So if you're really over the PMS symptoms, take a break from the alcohol. If you're really ready to have a shift, you can include coffee in there. Even if you switch to a half calf or a green tea or a black tea, you're going to lower the burden on your liver there. So number 1 is alcohol. If you can lower down your coffee and switch to teas, you're going to feel that much better, that much faster. Okay, the final tip is herbs. Bringing in a couple herbs that are basically have no contraindications. I would hold off for pregnancy. Not needed if you're already pregnant. You're not getting your period then anyway. But these 2 herbs are safe, daily use herbs for women of reproductive age. The first one is Vitex or chasteberry. You can get it in any of the health food stores, grocery stores, Amazon, wherever. Just take it as the label says. And some practitioners will dose it differently throughout the month, but just go ahead and take it all month long. This herb has an affinity for the female hormones. So it's our number 1 go-to herb that we use when we are trying to balance out the menstrual cycle. Number 2 is raspberry leaf. So start to use raspberry leaf tea or tincture daily. Then your body's getting the minerals it needs and the vitamins it needs to produce the adequate hormones. It's not only estrogen at play here with a nice balanced cycle. There's also progesterone, but I don't want to get too much into the terminology. I want to empower you with knowledge so that you can make some different choices and actually see an impact on your health. If you want to dive deep, then you need to have a consultation with a practitioner who is trained in these sort of things. But those 3 tips will definitely make an impact on your monthly cycle. Increasing your fiber every day. You should have at least 30 grams of fiber a day. Easier to get there if you're including something like flaxseed meal and chia seeds. Cut out the alcohol for a while, even just 1 month, and see how you feel. Even get it down to 1 day a week and see how you feel. Also consider lowering your coffee. If you're drinking more than 1 coffee a day, you have to scale it back. Hands down. 1 coffee a day you should be able to get away with. Number 3 is the herbs. These are our best herbs for the female cycle, our most go-to first line herbs, the Vitex and Rubus, raspberry leaf tea. Okay, so start out there. This is kind of like a foundation. This is the foundation level. There's a lot more we could talk about in terms of sleep, stress, exercise, etc. But these are 3 tips that I think have the biggest impact in the shortest amount of time. If you want more information, let me know. I'm happy to provide more. And then if you want to get very personalized with the information, contact me if you want to do a private consult or find a practitioner in your area. I hope this helps, and I'm wishing all of you women just the most loving, nourishing, empowering time when you have your period, when it's your moon. It's just an amazing portal of feminine power to tap into. So don't reduce it to anything less than that. That's really what it is. You're opening up to the other dimension, the dimension which we as humans bring new life into this world. So relax into that. That itself is healing. Okay, sending lots of love to you. Aloha, peace.